Vijay Thakare. The first session of the day is going to be a ready reckoner for day trading Bank Nifty. So he's going to be talking about his topic. It's his favorite topic, and his journey started off about many years back right here at Goa. And I'm going to invite Vijay to talk about his life story, which is going to be, I heard it, it's very interesting, very challenging experience. I'll let Vijay take over. Big round of applause for Vijay, who rocked it yesterday on the monthly expiry, and happy to share that he's also offered to sponsor the evening's party today. So a bigger cheer for him for that, please.
We made 60% returns yesterday.
I'm sorry?
60% returns yesterday.
60% returns yesterday. What more can you expect? So probably next time, I think Vijay should sponsor Traders Carnival on some island in the West Indies maybe. Over to Vijay.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Vijay Thakare. I am a Bank Nifty trader. As you guys know, yesterday we had a very good session. Everybody made money? Yes. Great. So this is my first session, in front of so many people, and sharing whatever little I've learned about the markets. So before we go to the markets, I want to share my story of my journey of how I went to the markets and how I struggled through or juggled through everything that I learned, and every trader, everyone here must have gone through some kind of a challenge, right? So I want to share my challenge also, what I went through and how I tried to overcome it. Okay. So the story starts from Majorda Beach. It was 16 years ago that I used to work as a salesman who used to knock doors. I used to go to every door or every retail store, and I used to pitch them a product. So my only job was to pitch them a product, and then I used to get a small commission out of it. So I used to sell, there was a screwdriver or a Chinese equipment. So that I used to sell to every person, because what we were taught was that, if you can sell it to a person who doesn't need it, then you are a good salesman, right? That's what, you've been taught in sales. So my job was to pitch to everybody. Everything, every place or every person I see, I just have to pitch him the product and try to sell him. So Majorda Beach, it was actually March 2005. I was here, and I was selling products. So I went to Majorda Beach Resort where I wanted to sell them the product. So I waited at least for half an hour so that I can meet the technical head or IT person of Majorda and try to sell him the product. I waited, and then when he came, I showed him the product, and he bashed me. He was like, we don't need it, just go away. You are just a normal salesman, and we get these products many times, and we don't need it. So I was actually, already I was going through a bad patch, and walking 20 miles a day and getting that products in your hand and selling it to people, it's a tough job, yeah, really tough. So already I was not in that frame of mind where I was very confident. So I was bogged down, and I was crying and things like that. So I went outside the resort, and I was like, this is not the life that I want. I want to make a change. I want to do something that makes me happy or makes me comfortable in life. So then after a couple of months trying and struggling, I went back home. Then my uncle, my cousin uncle, he told me that there's a BPO opening. That time BPO was into vogue actually, because people who just spoke normal English, they would get a good paid job like 15, 20,000, 30,000 also. So he told me that, why don't you try this voice and accent course? I was like, okay, and he lended me 2,000 bucks because I didn't have that money. So he lended me 2,000 bucks and he was like, do this course and see what you can do out of it. So I did the course and I got a job. My first job was 5,000 bucks. I did that work for four months, but then it was a startup, so that company shut down after 4 months. Then I moved back to Mumbai. There I worked for almost a year. So in that process, I started learning about BPO and how the business works and all of that. So 3 years down the line, I went to be a senior salesperson and that level. Then I thought, now I know something about the business, so I should start my own. So I made an effort. I had a little saving, so I made an effort and I started that business, but it failed miserably. In 3 months itself, I had to shut down the business. Then I went to a job again. Then I worked at the job for 2 years. And then when I got more confident about how to get the clients, how to get into business development and how to talk to people, then I started my own business as a fresh, because now I had an experience that how you should not be failing at the business. So then I started my business, and first I started with freelancing. I opened an account for freelancing, and that company with 2 of my partners, we took to 10 crores in 7 years. Now, as you know, BPO is a huge challenging job because you have to work at night. And I was right from 2005 to 2020, I was working night shifts. And from 2014 itself, that working at nights, not sleeping properly, it was getting me into a lot of health issues. Whenever I used to go to the gym, I used to faint because I didn't sleep properly. And then I had lungs issues. So, getting from there to, being a trader, 2016 was the time when I got into trading. As everybody goes through that, you get a call from your broker and he says that, you can get good returns and all of that. So I had money, I was making good money at that time. So I was like, let's give it a try. Then I started with equities. I made good money in the first couple of months and then started losing. Because the broker suggested that you are making good money, you are a good client and you have some funds. So why not we should try Bank Nifty? And I think that was the time when weeklies started, Bank Nifty weekly expiry started, 2016-17. So I started with that, and after initial success with Bank Nifty, I started losing money. And in the first year itself, I lost almost 12 lakhs. So, after losing this money, I mean, when you work hard and you lose money, there's another mental pressure that you have that, you have to recover that money. Because you feel, there's a certain ego that comes that, no matter what, I have to recover this money. So that journey started, then passion kicked in that, I have to recover money. So I started learning about technical analysis and, what is VWAP and what is candlestick patterns and all of that. I started learning about that. Then right from 2019, I was still losing money. Every day, my strike ratio was 70 times I used to fail and 30 times maybe profitable. That too, brokerage were more and the earnings were less. So, going through that process, going through all the mental pressure, there was a time for a year or two, I was, working in my office. I used to come at 6 o'clock in the morning, then sleep for 3 hours, then trade the whole day, and then sleep from 3 to 8 o'clock, and then again go to the office. So that was a schedule for at least 1 or 2 years. And then in that process, I learned about market profile. And there were people who I saw that, they were successful doing it. Because before that, I'd never seen somebody, a successful trader. You haven't seen a person live who's trading in front of you and he's showing you how to make money. So that was a game changer for me. And then Shiva also came into picture, and when I attended Shiva's session and I saw how this person is making ₹1 lakh a day. So I was like, what is that I cannot do that he's doing? That was the question I asked. So then I analyzed a lot. One day I was driving, and while driving itself, I was thinking about, what do I want in life? Or, what do I want to do? Because you're already getting depressed by all your health issues, and then trading is something that you want to do, but then you're still failing at it. And I reached home and I didn't realize how I reached home. And that was kind of a eureka moment, that, driving is something practical, right? So when your subconscious mind is so active that, it made you reach home and you didn't realize also. And trading is also the same. It is a practical thing, but you have to develop it so much that, it becomes your subconscious. Isn't it? It should be done with ease. You should not feel that, you're pushing for it. It should be effortless. Driving is effortless. First we start driving, we bash into people, or we are not confident. But once we tackle ourselves through the traffic and everything, after a lot of practice, that's when we get to learn. And then I realized that trading is the same. You have to practice, 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 practice. You have to learn. You have to go through all different market phases to know, what exactly happens. So then 2020, January, once I met Shiva and I learned, what all things required, then I asked myself, what do I want from the market? Has anybody has asked this question to him? What exactly do I want from the market? I was like, let's say whatever I am making from my company, at least half of it, if I get, I'm happy with it. So let's take a ballpark figure that my expectation from the market every month is ₹1 lakh. Okay? And then I thought, so for getting ₹1 lakh, how much do you think you should be investing? I was like, I asked myself this question. I mean, see, I'm not talking about risk management, but I'm just asking, I'm just sharing the talk that I have with myself. So I was like, I have 10, 15 lakhs. I can deploy that and I can try to make that money. So then I was like, okay, you know how to trade Bank Nifty. You understand the market fair enough now. Now, what do you do next? What do you focus on? So the focus is making ₹1 lakh a month. Now let's divide that ₹1 lakh into 20 days. How much does that come? 5,000, right? But we cannot be right on every day, right? So let's calculate that 50% of the time will be right, 50% will be wrong. So then I have to make 10,000 rupees a day from the capital of 10 lakh rupees. Okay. Then I thought to myself, okay, we are trading Bank Nifty. So 1 ATR of Bank Nifty is, at that time, it might be 250 points or 300 points, right? So from a move of 250 to 300 points, what do I need? I need that 10,000 bucks. So how do I take out that 10,000 bucks from the market? So if I have a capital of 10 lakh rupees, then if I take in 10 lots, okay, 10 lots. So how much points do I need to get from Bank Nifty to make that 10,000 rupees? 40 points, right? So out of the 250 point move, what do I need is 40 points. If I take more quantity, then I can make it in a lesser points. But still, let's take it as 40 points. So I was like, if you want only 40 points from Bank Nifty, why are you pushing yourself so much? Why are you, going through this and that and, everything? Why are we doing that if we just need 40 points? So I thought to myself that, what we need is the highest probability of trade, where our risk reward is going to be the lowest, right? Now our job becomes, smaller, because we know what we want. I just want 40 points, right? And I have to find the highest probability of the trade to get that 40 points. It can be in 5 trades also, it can be in 1 trade also, okay? So then I was like, okay. Now when I was looking at Shiva and another mentor that I had, his name is Jitender, so they used to help me a lot, that this is how you trade, this is how Bank Nifty has been traded, and you take your positions here, exit here, and that's how you trade. I was like, okay. When I saw their setup, there was nothing in it. I mean, I used to learn on YouTube and everything, and they were like, use this indicator, this and that and that. I was like, but then their setup is, I mean, you cannot find a simpler setup than that. Then I thought to myself that, the more simple you keep your setup, the more simple your world is, the better or, the precise you will be when you're trading. Because you don't have to look outside the world. Because what we do is, okay, HDFC is going up, then Reliance is going up, this is going up, this is going up. I was like, no, let's try to be Bruce Lee. Let's only focus on one kick, right? Well, let's try one kick 10,000 times, and then we'll see if we are successful or not. So I deleted all the stocks, everything. Only and only Bank Nifty, that's it. Because Bank Nifty provides you that spice or that volatility that we need to make that extra bucks. So there comes the setup. So then I thought that, I don't have that much money to be an option seller, and I find it a little complicated. So I was like, I want to be an option buyer. Now, once I'm an option buyer, then what do I need? As an option buyer, what do we need? Can anybody tell me? The momentum, right? And we as traders, or we as humans, we have to develop patience. Patience doesn't come inherently. We have to develop it, right? And trading is something, it's so volatile that, getting patience takes a lot of years. So I was like, I want to do this option buying. I want 40 points. I need momentum, right? Now, this is all decided, okay? What we decided? What do we want from the market? How much money we want to make, okay? What do we need to make that money, right? And then, as a buyer, what exactly is required, okay? All these things are figured out. Now our focus is only how to get that 40 points, okay? Now we'll start the presentation. Yeah. Okay. I've made this presentation, taking into account we as retail traders, what we expect from the market and what is required for us to, get to a level where we can have consistent income, okay? Yeah. Now, important points to start a day trading business. What do we need? Knowledge about the business. Knowledge as in, let's say I'm trading Bank Nifty, I need to know the structure of Bank Nifty. Now, everybody says that, once you start learning about stocks and candlesticks, that is the time the charts start talking to you, right? The charts start talking to you. They tell you a picture. They tell you what it wants to do. Now, people who are married, they know that, how their wife is going to react at what time, or how their husbands are going to react at what time, right? So Bank Nifty, if I want to trade, I want to understand every move of Bank Nifty. I want to understand what the Bank Nifty is doing every time, or how is the movement that's happening in Bank Nifty. I want to understand that. How do you understand that? By observing, by looking at every price movement that's happening. So I started looking at it. Just sit and look and see how the structure is panning out. We just have to look at that, how the structure is panning out. We made a business plan already that we want 40 points, we want to make 1 lakh rupees a month, and we need 10,000 rupees every day, just taking into account losses. Then we have decided what capital we need, right? Capital is 10 lakh rupees that I decided. You can have a smaller capital and you can have a smaller target also, no problem. We can decide as per our expectations. Now, in the knowledge objective, our objective is to make a good living. We want financial freedom. We don't want to go to a job and slog for 10, 12 hours, 15 hours and then get paid pennies. There's no satisfaction in it. Or you don't feel freedom. So objective is decided. Then business model, our business model is day trading. We want to day trade, right? So in day trading, the best part is that day is that day. I don't know what is going to happen tomorrow or after a week, or if there is going to be a plane crash, or the economy is going to go down or nothing. I don't know anything about it. I don't want to understand also. What my job is, what my screen is telling me, what my setup is telling me, I just have to focus on that. That's it. Then comes money management and risk management. Now, the reason why we took 10 lakh rupees for making 10,000, because there can be slippages, there can be issues, or there can be over trading, a lot of things happen. So that we have to understand. We have see, I traveled through 4 years to come here. I made almost 35 lakhs in losses. Then I recovered everything and then made good profits. But then what I want you to learn is that how to limit your losses, how to focus on one thing, how to be laser focused on just one thing. First, let's learn one thing and then we'll move to another. See, market is a huge world, right? It's a beast. And there are thousands of parts. There are almost 5,000 stocks, right? Can we trade everything? No, right? We just have to pick one index to make a living. And we did that. So risk management, everybody knows it's very, very important. And the more we preserve our capital, the more we are going to stay in the market. Trade plan. We made a trade plan that we want the highest probability trade. What we need is 40 points, right? Now we'll come to the chart. Now for execution, we want to execute our plan. What we need is momentum, right? Plus, as a buyer, we are going to need timing. Why? Because when momentum kicks in, that's when we want to get into the trade and get out when the momentum is losing, right? So how to find this momentum and timing and how to match them together and then take the highest probability trade and get out of it. This is my setup. So I use 20, 50, 200 EMAs, moving averages. Then VWAP, MACD, and stochastic. Now, this is my entire world. This is what I look at every minute or every second. And this, this setup took me at least more than a year to understand how it works. See, it's not a magic wand that, we'll understand the setup in a day or two, or, okay, Vijay told me that, this is the setup, so let's try it and let's start make money. That's not going to happen. So I have stochastic and MACD. The reason is these are momentum indicators. These are the indicators which are going to tell me if the momentum is good, if my probability of the trade is going to be good or not. Okay? So now based on my setup, there are a few points that, four setups that I want to tell you guys. One is momentum and how to find it, and then how to trade it. Okay? Now yesterday, why were we bullish, or why we were not so negative, or why we thought that market is going to go up, right? If we see this, market is coming down, this is the open, right? MACD goes down, okay? Market is still going down. What is MACD doing? Is it going down? It's not, right? Once, yesterday I asked Dean the question, so this was the point where we formed the bottom yesterday, okay? Now from here, the first setup that we look at is a crossover above 0 for MACD. You can take the settings, the setting is 3915, I'll just put it here. Fast length is 3, slow length is 9. So this is a bullish crossover. I mean, I was yesterday talking to Sharik and I was like, Sharik, once this line crosses 0, you will see momentum on the upside. And here we see what happened. MACD was, from the morning, it was telling us that, I'm going to go up, go up, go up. And, market was trying to, build positions, or, whoever the FIs are, they are trying to build positions while they are taking it down, but they are building positions on the upside. Okay? Now once this breakout has happened, the most important part that in intraday we look at is VWAP, because that is the volume weighted average price. Okay? So that is the most important part. Now as per market profile, if this is a trend day, if it's going down and every 30 minutes it's making a lower low, right? And at H this period, it stops making lower lows. It takes support on the previous support that we had in 1st February, and then it tries to come back. So this is our first setup. Now, how do we get 40 points, right? That is our question. So the first setup is MACD has to be above 0, stochastic has to be above 40, and price has to be above VWAP. Yeah, MACD has to be above 0, stochastic has to be above 40, and price has to be above VWAP. Yeah, I'll share the settings. Yeah, 533. Sorry? Yeah. So this is our first setup, that is MACD has to be above 0, stochastic has to be above 40, and price has to be above VWAP, or at least it has to be trying to cross above VWAP. Okay, this is our first setup. Do you think we can get 40 points here? at this place? We can, right? More than that. So this is the first setup. Then the second one is bearish crossover. Here it is. Now this position, here price is below VWAP, MACD is going below 0, stochastic is going below 40. Simple setup, we can get 40 points here. So every day when we come to trading, we have this setup, we don't change anything. We are looking at only Bank Nifty, only one price. So this is the second setup. Sorry? Only 20 points. Yeah. When we are trading options, only 20 points. Because, yeah. It's default. VWAP is default. So the reason we have such a small stop loss is because the entry or the timing of a trade, we are defining that with the indicators that we have set up. So the setting is a bit laggard from price action, but then it tells you when the momentum is going to be fierce, and that's when we want to enter. So this is the second setup where price is below VWAP, MACD is going below 0, and stochastic is going below 40. Okay. Now we'll say that how is this so simple, or you are just telling us how can it be this simple, and if this is the case, everybody will start making money. But that's not the case. The reason is, when we look at the setup, when I showed you this setup, it was like, either lene ka, either bechne ka. That's the thought. But then what happens is our monkey mind doesn't agree to that. It never agrees to that. It was like, nahi yaar, aisa nahi ho sakta. It has to be difficult, or it has to be complicated. But then, as we talked about again and again, we have to find the highest probability trade. And that's when we see here. Now, what mistake everybody does is, when we are getting into indicators, or we getting into price action, we don't understand the context once we are watching the indicators or the price. See, the setup will fail, right? Every setup is not, it cannot be good every time. It has to fail sometime, right? What we have to understand is, when is my setup not going to work? That's the only thing that I need to understand. When is my setup not working as per my conditions? If it's not working as per my conditions, I am not going to trade. Simple. I don't want to trade when my setup is not showing me a good signal, or there is an issue. So yesterday when I was trading, I was very conservative, because my setup was giving me a different signal, and the price was doing something else. So I waited and waited and waited. Why? Because I understand the context, that it's sell on rise. But then market is been selling on rise from last 5 to 7 days. So context or understanding what we need to do at what situation. So if it's sell on rise, then what I'll do is, I'll find bearish setups. If we see here, in this area, if you see in this area, many of the times the stochastic is going below 0, and the MACD is also going below 0. Okay? So this tells me that market is not very bullish, it is going to be sell on rise. Then what I do is, this is just 5 minutes, right? I go to first daily range. Now from what time we are doing sell and rise? Here, 12th March. We'll take it 12th March. This is when sell and rise was more active. So when I'm trading, before I start trading, what do I do is, I go to a daily chart. I look at how the price is moving, what it has done over the last few days, and then I decide what kind of a setup that I'm going to look for. So here if you see, the same indicators or the same price action that we're using or the same moving averages that we're using, they're telling us the same story. Here, once this has happened, MACD is gone already below 0, stochastic is already below 40. What does that tell you? Don't look for a lot of bullish setups, just look for bearish setups. Okay? And here, if I am trading here or here, after that, what I look for is bullish setup. Okay? Now this is daily chart. Then as a trader, we'll go to hourly chart. What does hourly chart tell us? March, let's see 12th March. Okay, this is 12th March. Till 12th March, daily price was above 200 moving average. So, everybody says that 200 moving average is the mother of moving averages, right? So if that moving average is breaking, price is going below that, then we say that we are into bearish territory. On daily also, if market is always looking at 200 moving average. So what we say is that market has broken 200 EMA and panic starts and everybody are like we are going to bearish territory and things are going to be wild. So once hourly chart is broken, then is the actual time that more sell and rise starts. So once this started happening, then I had already had a context that we'll look for sell and rise. Then hourly, after that I look for 15 minutes. Now in 15 minutes if we see, here, 12th March itself, what happened? Price went below 200 moving average, right? So when longer time frame, it told me that it gave a big red candle and it told me that this is the point we start doing sell on rise. And the shorter time frames, that is 15 minutes or 1 hour, that had already told me that we are going to a little bearish territory. So what I look for here is majorly when the smaller moving averages, that is 20, 50, they are going below 200 moving average. That is a very, very, very good sign where you get a high probability trade. Now we want 40 points, but not everybody here is looking for 40 points, right? People want more points. Somebody wants to be a positional trader, somebody wants to be a swing trader or short-term swing trader. So our setup provides that to everybody. What you need to do is you have to look for what you want. If you want to be a swing trader, trade 15 minutes or 1 hour. Whenever this crossover happens, when this price goes below that, this is the highest probability trade you can get. Because 200 moving average, I mean the smaller moving averages are crossing 200. So this provides me the best opportunities to short. Till this time, price is hovering around 200. But once this crossover happens, it's like a golden crossover for a swing trader. Because his stop loss is going to be very small. Maybe just 100 or 200 points. But from there, he can get 500,000 points also. So, once we have this setup, every time frame, what we look for is highest probability trade. So this is done. Now another setup that I look for is divergence, meaning price is doing something and the indicator is doing something. For example, here, if we see here, or we can see here also. Wait, I'll show you something. Yeah, this place. See here, this place. This is the 15-minute chart. What was happening was, price is going down. It's going down fiercely. But then from this point, the indicator started turning. And that started giving you a different picture. They're telling you that, you should not be short in the market. You should exit your positions and you should not be short. This was a very good day. When we started, yeah. It started at 35,500 and it went down 34,450. So it was a 1,000-point drop, right? But still, here the indicators are saying that you cannot be short anymore. You have to wait. And once it goes above 0, yeah, the MACD started going up. Sorry? Yeah, candles are also consolidating, and it's showing us that there is demand coming here. Because if you see, there are wicks coming here. Not on the upside, but on the downside, you're seeing wicks coming here. So that is telling you that you have to be bullish from here. But we want highest probability trade, right? We don't want to get into the trade and wait for a long time because we are buyers. We cannot. Time is against us. The whole maths of options is against us. So we wait till the MACD goes above 0. Once it's inching above 0, that's when we start taking the trade. Now if somebody has to take a swing trade for, let's say, 500 points, this is the time. Because again, our setup, MACD is going above 0, stochastic is going about 40. This is the setup. So once this happens, the low of this candle is 34,400. Okay, you keep a stop loss 100 or 200 points below that, because here you can see there is demand. So let's say we keep 34,200 as stop loss, and we just keep trailing till the stochastic reaches 80. Sorry? Yeah. This is for swing trading. If you are looking for a positional setup, or if you're looking for 500 points, then we take this. Sorry? 15 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, we can wait. Definitely, no problem. Right. See, we can, it's up to our risk reward. If we are a risky player and if we think that, we are confident about a setup, then we can take a trade here, but then definitely we should wait. Sorry? Yeah, because VWAP is used for intraday. For swing trading, you have to keep your positions overnight also. So in that case, VWAP is not that important, because if you are taking 15 minutes or hourly, then it won't make sense. So once this area has been protected and we see demand coming, we take a trade once our everything matches to our setup, and then we can keep trailing till the time stochastic goes to 80 or 90. Once it goes there, we have to wait for a reversal candle. Then we go to a smaller time frame on 5 minutes to our exit, because we have got good points. So we don't want to lose most of our profits. So we go to a smaller time frame and look what's happening there. Now this candle red came. So if we are on the 5 minutes and if we are at 200 moving average, I'll just exit my position and then I'll wait for another setup. This is for 15 minutes. We can take the same setup with same indicators and everything on hourly time frame as well. Here. Now this is kind of a golden trade. Why? Because moving averages are crossing over on an hourly time frame. 50 moving average is crossing 200, right? Then MACD is crossing above 0. Stochastic is already bullish. So this is on a swing trading, or if you want 1000 points from Bank Nifty, this is a golden trade for us. Now we go to how we can trade on daily. Sorry? 50 is crossing 200. Whenever bullish crossover or bearish crossover of moving averages is happening, that's when you get the best trades. So we, as a swing trader, we have to wait. But if you are an intraday trader and if you want 40 points, we looked at what we need. And the same setup will apply in other time frames also. So now we'll check a daily chart and see where we find the highest probability trade. See, this was a very good bearish setup here, this area. We know what happened. I mean, in hindsight, it's very good to tell, but then we never knew this was going to happen. But still, looking at the setup, this is what we look at. What is happening? MACD is already below 0. Stochastic is already below 20. That means we are in bearish territory. Now this crossover is happening. 2050 are going below 200. So that's a golden trade for us. We just hold and see what price does. Okay? This was a bearish setup, same bullish setup. What is happening here? Once we get a confirmation here in this place that MACD is already above 0. Now how do we gauge the momentum? How do we gauge that? That there is strong momentum or the momentum is not that strong or mild? By the strength of this. The more the gap we have between this MACD, the more bullish will be. Or I said in Marathi we say that मी सगळं पणाला लावून टाकेल. That I will go all in when I see this kind of a setup. So we understood bullish and bearish setup. Yeah. Sorry? Yeah, this one, right? Yeah. So the more we have a gap between the red line and the blue line, the more powerful the momentum is going to be. If you see here, what happened here? Huge momentum, right? It's a big gap. From here, how many points did we get? If you wait for this candle, this was 1st Feb. If you wait for this candle to close and then take a trade, it is going to tell you 100%, and boss, the momentum is superb, just go in and take the trade. Now for investors, we go to weekly time frame. Same setup? Anything changes? No, right? Where do we take bullish setup? When this crosses above 0, This is above 40. We took a bullish setup. This crosses below 0. This goes below 20. Moving averages converging. We take a bearish setup. So I will sell everything that I have here. I won't wait. I'll redeem all my mutual funds and everything. Because now we know that, there is going to be a huge sell-off. And here, if you see, it's going above 200. And it's showing us that, there is very, very good momentum. Already we had seen on daily time frame that it was bullish. Then weekly is also confirming. And then monthly is also going to confirm. Now, when does monthly confirm? Here. We can take a position here. Why? Because this is above 40, this is above 100, and this is going above moving averages on a monthly time frame. So you can hold a position for a year also, till the time you don't find a bearish setup on a smaller time frame. Till that, we can keep taking the position. Now we come back to 5 minutes again. Now what is happening today? Let's see. What happened here? Did anybody take a trade? So simple setup. Another setup that I trade is divergence, wherein the moving averages, they come together. Okay, they come together, and then it tells you, that's the time. Then we start over trading, because we think that it's going to break out on the upside or downside, upside or downside. We don't know, but we are confused, right? Many times it happens that the Bollinger Bands, they get squeezed. We don't know where it's going to go. So in this case, this is going to help us understand or help us to say that which side the market wants to go. Now what happens here? Here will you short here? Will you be bearish here? No, right? Sorry? Yeah. It's above the moving averages, price is above VWAP, okay? MACD is above 0, stochastic is already above 40. So we are not going to take a bearish trade. But what happens is, when we don't have these kind of things, then our monkey mind starts to say that no, it's going to go below VWAP, no, it's going to go down, it's going to break, because see, this red candle, it can scare you. But then that is where the moving averages, the VWAP, that comes into picture. So this is one setup. When the MACD comes closer, and then it gives you a direction. So in this case, we stay away from the market till the price finds its direction. Okay? Because as we said, we want momentum. Once the momentum is got down, we are not going to trade. So do we need to trade in this scenario, in this place? Are we going to get any momentum, or are we going to get any points that we are looking for? We will not, right? So we wait for price to find its way. Once it finds its way, then we'll start trading. This is one setup. Another is how to find a trend day and how to trade that. Okay. here. Now already if we see from here market started selling off, right? Now if we see from here itself, once the red candle was formed, the price didn't go above VWAP, okay? It didn't go above VWAP, it didn't stay above VWAP for not more than 5-10 minutes. Now once it starts going down, okay, this day might be a little difficult day for us because the price is above moving averages, but then it is below VWAP, and our indicators are also not telling us that there is momentum. Now in this case, if you see, the candles are very small, so that tells us that there is no momentum. We don't need to trade on this day. Sorry, yeah, MACD is flat, so we don't need to trade. When are we going to trade? When it gives us a clear direction and clear momentum. When is it going to give you clear momentum? Here. Now on a 5-minute time frame, every time if you watch, first time it comes to 200 EMA, it's going to bounce back fiercely. Here. It will try to take support 2 to 3 times. Once it breaks that 200 candle with such precision, and once you see volume here, then you go all in. Because that is the very good trade. Here, all the crossovers is happening. The price is going below 200. Now from here, the trend day starts. Okay, market is going to be trending on the downside because everything is going down. Now from there, if you see, it just goes down and down and down. So in this point, what will be your stop loss? If you want to take a trend setup, you don't want to exit your position, you don't want 40 points, you want more points, then how do you do that? Once this setup is done, okay, once you enter into this position, what your stop loss will be? Can anybody tell me? What should be the stop loss? We will take 50 moving average. 20 becomes very small because nowadays with algos in place, they take a mean reversion trade. So they take it to 20 EMA and then take it back. So we have to take it 50 moving average. Okay. Now where does 50 moving average come? Here, this place. So this will be a stop loss. So I take a trade here. Let's say I take 1,000 quantity. Now once it goes down, I exit 50% and 50% I'm just going to leave it till 50 moving average is not going to touch. So this is where I will exit my position. This is how you play a trend day. This is on the downside, on the upside. Yeah, say this. It's a beautiful trend day. Here. Price has not even touched the 20 EMA. Though the indicators are saying that I am not too bullish, or it doesn't have momentum. Mostly if you see on trend days, the indicator will not show you a lot of bullishness. But in this case, if you check with volumes, it will show you a lot of volume here. Okay. The best part is it's not going below 0 also. Here, it's not going below 0. So till the time it's above 0, we are safe, no problems. Or we can keep trailing. Once it crosses VWAP. Yeah. Because here, if you see, all the moving averages are already expanded. That means we are in a bullish territory. See, on the upside also, when the moving averages start expanding, like you have Bollinger Bands, when it starts expanding, you write the trend, and you take a mean as the stop loss. Same way with moving averages, you take a 20 moving average as your trailing stop loss, or 50 as your stop loss, and you just write it. Sorry? Yeah, see what I have to do is, I have to watch everything in conjunction. I have to watch momentum also and I have to watch price action also. The momentum changes when we see this.
No, just now in the example you have said that MACD is flat.
Yeah,
Throughout the trade, MACD was flat.
yeah.
So do you look other indicator also?
No, I am looking at the moving averages then.
Okay.
My moving averages are already expanded, and all the moving averages, the price is about 20 moving average, which is the one of the shortest moving averages. Price is staying above that for a long time.
Okay.
And our trade, what we are going to do is, we are going to take above VWAP. Whatever trade we are going to do, bullish setup, we are going to take above VWAP. So once the moving averages have expanded and the price is above VWAP, we stay in the trade till it doesn't reach 50 moving average. We continue to take that trade till it reaches 50 moving average.
Okay.
Now another setup is, go to 15 minutes. I took that trade so I can share with you. Here. This was day before yesterday, right? 23rd. So this is one of my favorite setups. When 20 moving average is crossing 50 moving average, this place. I took 34,000 CE, okay, with a stop loss of 50 points. In futures, my stop loss was 33,800. Okay, 33,800 was my stop loss. And once this candle was formed, and once this crossover has confirmed, and now in this place, the price is above VWAP, right? MACD is above 0, stochastic is already above 40. So with a 50-point stop loss, I got 200 points in that strike price, 34,000 CE. I mean, in that trade, the price didn't touch, forget about the stop loss, it did come 25 points also. So whenever we're looking at setups, we have to look for different things. So now what we have done is, we have created our own world where we have moving averages, where we have momentum, where we have price action also. We watch for supply and demand. Then we watch when the price is going to go above any moving average and how the market is going to react after it goes above those moving averages. Any questions? Yeah, sure. Yeah. Right. So in that case, we have to look at VIX also, how the volatility is, and then we have to choose our strike price very carefully. Most of the time, I trade at the money. Now, many times I do market orders. So what I'm looking for is, what I'm looking for is quick entry and exit, right? So I cannot put in a limit order, then it will take my price and then it'll go up. So how I adjust is, I look for a strike price which has a bid ask of only 1 point, 1 rupee. When the bid ask is very low, then I'll get a good price. Yeah. So that is the strike price that I'm going to choose. I'll look for a bid ask of only 1 rupee, and then I'll take only that strike price. It can be far out of the money also, no problems. But the bid ask is very important, because if I'm taking 100 lots at a time, and if I'm taking a deep in the money call, let's say, and if it has a bid ask of 5 to 7 rupees, doesn't make sense, because I'm trying to scalp, right? So I have to be very fast, and I have to be market orders in, market orders out. So yeah, you can do futures also, no problem.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Hello. If I want to use the setup for the intraday,
Yeah.
so can I use the time frame of 15 minutes and 30 minutes? What do you
Yeah.
suggest?
You can use 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Both time frames work well.
Both time frame, na?
Yeah, both time frames work well. See,
Okay.
we have to understand that what we are comfortable with. If you are comfortable with 15 minutes, but what I would suggest is stick to one time frame.
Okay. One more thing.
Don't keep juggling with it, because then it will show a different picture. And then we get confused that अरे यार 15 minutes में तो ये दिख रहा है और 30 minutes में तो ये दिख रहा है, अब क्या करूँ? So that's why I stick to only 5 minutes and I stick to only scalping.
Okay.
Because that is what I like.
One more thing. If every time meet all the criteria, I should take trade in all time.
Sorry?
If all criteria meet every time, I should take the trade all time. Yeah, wait for other else.
Wait for others. I mean.
If the criteria meet once, then I should take every time. Whenever the criteria meets all the criteria.
Whenever the criteria meets, you take the trade. You set up your exit criteria. How much do you want from the market? We have decided on an intraday 5-minute chart, we only want 40 points. So
Okay.
I get 40 points, I close my system.
Okay.
Simple.
Thank you.
Hi Vijay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned about probability also, and
Yeah.
if these 4 parameters are not making you so confident, then how do you decide on the probability, like what is said?
I won't take a trade. My job is only to watch, everything is coming into my setup. Yesterday, if you see, we were very conservative till 130. But once everything matches and once it comes to our setup, we are not going to wait. हमको तो सिक्सर ही मारना है फिर.
So wait for the right ball.
Yeah, wait for the right ball, and once you find the right ball, then you don't wait.
That's nice. And I have one more follow-up. Like you said scalping, or I can see you are doing on a 5-minute or 15-minute
Right.
candle. Sorry about my throat. Because
No
of
problem.
cold.
Yeah.
So these trades need to be executed very fast.
Yeah.
So is there any manual thing you do, or is it all automated, or how do you manage that
No,
speed
I do
for
manually.
execution?
See, I am comfortable. My nature is to be aggressive while trading, so I am comfortable with scalping. But we have to find out our nature, or we have to find out our own characteristics that what we are comfortable with. If I'm not comfortable with scalping, I'm not going to do it. That's okay. Market is so dynamic that it has place for everybody. It has place for sellers and it has place for buyers equally. Nobody is overpowering anybody. So you have to find your own comfort level. If you're okay with 15 minutes, do 15 minutes. If you're okay with positional, do positional, no problem. The end point is, what do we want from the market? We want money. We want consistent income, right? So just we focus on that.
Makes sense. So one last one.
Yeah.
Is it all live, or do you do some pre-planning or homework kind of thing after market or pre-market?
What I do is I analyze every trade that I take. How I came to know about my setup was I maintained a trading journal. I used to trade a lot. I mean, I used to do a lot of over trading. I used to maybe take 20, 30, 50, 100 trades also in a day. Every candle I used to trade. But then once I started analyzing every trade of mine, the trades came down to 10. From 50, it came down to 10. Why? Because I was like, you are not getting momentum. You don't see the price going above VWAP. The candles are so small. Then why do you want to trade? What is making you trade that, just the price fluctuation cannot make you trade, right? You have to wait for the right moment to take the trade. See, as an option buyer, that's what I'm saying. But for a seller, he just has to wait. He has to wait for the theta to decay, and then he, he's pocketing that money. But for a buyer, he has to wait for the momentum, for the speed to increase of the market, any side.
True. Yeah. Makes sense. Thanks a lot, Vijay.
Yeah.
Yes. Heard you saying that अगर 40 पॉइंट ही कमाने हैं बैंक निफ्टी में, a single 1 minute candle like trades around like 20 to 25 points in bank nifty.
Yeah.
So like उसका stop loss क्या होना चाहिए?
20 points, max.
So like for example, आपने कहा like 100 अगर 100 points बैंक निफ्टी में करने हैं.
100 points bank nifty में करने हैं. हाँ.
And on an average, I guess बैंक निफ्टी
Moves, yeah,
15,
250.
20, 25 आज के टाइम पे करती है.
हाँ.
एक मिनट में. और कल का देखो तो 30, 40, 50. अगर 100 पॉइंट्स का भी हम कर रहे हैं और अगर उसमें हमने 50% भी रख लिया,
okay,
so like how to like get away from like stop loss hunting, because अगर ऐसे करेंगे 50 का रख के,
right,
then so like I'm saying because like I do take thousands of trades every day
right,
when I come to scalping, and I'm pretty sure that you have also been a part of the stop loss hunting phase.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what? Yes. So
Yeah, I understand.
for the common retail trader,
yeah.
what would you suggest to like stop that stop loss hunting phase from it? 50% में अगर करेंगे बैंक निफ्टी में होता मैं समझ जाता.
Right.
बैंक निफ्टी की अगर हम बात कर रहे हैं, but only one that index, तो you know कि लगेगा और हर बार लगेगा.
Right.
और अगर टारगेट लग गया वो किस्मत, but chances हैं स्टॉप लॉस ही ज़्यादा लगेगा.
Right. So, see, what happens is, if you look at charts, there are phases in the market. Okay. In that phase, what happens is there is a day when there is consolidation. Now, when we talk about market profile, when there is a large time frame player is not available in the market and he's not driving the market, what happens is locals are playing, and what they are doing is they are hunting each other's stop loss. You go to one level, you come back. You go to one level, you come back.
I completely agree with like the local, the normal retail guy, the one who has like 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, the small player. He does not know what you know, I know, like these people know. So like, आपने मेरे को बताया मुझे समझ आ गया. I'm pretty sure 90% इनको नहीं समझा. So I would like.
Okay. So in this case, as we said that what we looking for momentum. In this case, I mean every time I'm talking about momentum, the reason is because that is when the probability of that trade is going to be higher. When everything is pointing out to one direction and it is telling me that now is the time you get into a trade, and now is the time that your stop loss is not going to be hunted again. So that is the time we have to enter into that trade. Till that time, we just wait.
So like, what are the basic criteria apart from the super trend, the view? इसके अलावा ताकि जो कॉमर्शियल आदमी है, आप हो, मैं हूँ, we have crores to like play with, but these guys don't do. Like आपने कि because of that, like I would like really appreciate if you like do tell them.
Sure.
Because I like ऐसे आप भी जानते हो आपकी stop loss hunt हुए हैं और लगातार जाता है.
Right. That is part of the game.
But like बैंक निफ्टी में अगर 50% का रखेंगे और 40 पॉइंट के हिसाब से फिर सर लगेगा.
So I think Vijay, what he's trying to say, which is right, that for an amateur trader or new trader, Bank Nifty, I mean, risk reward normally in the analysts say, or the fraternity says it should be 50 to 100, right?
Right.
If my target is only 40 points in Bank Nifty, and my stop loss is like you read 20, I mean, next tick it goes like this. So I mean, 4, 5 stop losses and the person will be out from Bank Nifty forever types. So is it a good trade for no, I'm not talking about a professional trader. I'm talking about most of the people, I mean, who are tier 1, tier 2, who get excited, who get carried away with this kind of, that it looks like stock market is the most difficult way to make most easy money.
Yeah.
It sounds and looks very easy.
Right.
So how do, it is so difficult for them to trade Bank Nifty.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, initially when I also started, it was very difficult. But then, see, as we know that, if somebody has to be an engineer, he has to go through that phase. He has to graduate. So, the reason why we are here is to help them understand that, what to do and what not to do, or what place we take the trade and why do we take the trade, and why is it necessary to wait for your right setup to arrive at that place and then we take it.
No, then I guess there should be a, I don't know, there should be baby steps that this is the first phase, second phase, third phase, and once you reach to the fourth phase, which is Bank Nifty 40 points, I mean straight away plunging into Bank Nifty. So,
one second. Ashu sir, just what he's trying to say, and I was just trying to relate to it, is, yeah, so when we talked about the retail traders, and if he's talking about 20 points on a one lot of Bank Nifty, it is 500 rupees. Okay, even if he hits 4 times, it's 2,000 rupees. For a retail trader, it's still 1% of his capital. So what he's trying to mention, I think so you can go 3-4 times wrong, but when you get the right move, it may be 3-4-5 times also. But risk management, I'm not talking about the quantity that they are taking.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
the risk management.
The risk management. That's where I'm coming from. Quantity can be anything. Yeah.
So I just want to ask if you can add this number of what is the maximum consecutive losers in your strategy?
Sorry?
Maximum consecutive losers in the strategy.
In a day or in a...
Maximum consecutive, whether it's in a day, 3 days consecutive,
Yeah, in a day maximum is 3.
In a day maximum is 3. So after 3 you are sure that the fourth is more likely the profitable one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that gives me maybe 4 or 5 times what I lost.
Okay.
no, I just want to reason out with Vishal a very important point from again a retail investor's point of view, or a retail trader. I mean, you know the cost of trading a Bank Nifty, brokerage, STT, everything put together. So I think on an Excel sheet, if 2 wrongs are 20 into 2, 40 rupees, and 1 right 40 rupees, it's a trade-off.
Yeah.
But actually, if you put 66%, even if you're right, and 33% you are wrong, it's a net loss trade for a normal man. So a lot of people or analysts say on an Excel sheet that my strike rate is 70%. But try to be in the shoes of an investor or a trader or a client. 70% strike rate is negative for most of the people if you take care of all the expenditure. So that's where I'm coming from, that you have to be right, not 40, probably target 140 and 20 or 40. So I mean that's...
Yeah, so sir, that's why I was, I presented from every time frame. Because see, we trade anything. We can trade Bank Nifty or we can trade... I am presenting Bank Nifty because that's what I trade. But then for people who are not, we have to understand how is our behavior or how is our characteristics as a person. Then only we can define or decide what I want to trade. As that guy, he asked me that, he cannot scalp. Scalping is very difficult. Definitely it's very difficult. So if you think scalping is difficult, no problem. There are other time frames. We are showing a world where a lot of things are possible. You can be an investor using this chart. Using this setup, you can be an investor and you can just ride the trend. You can take any stock or you can take any index and just use the setup. Yeah. 70-30.
70% times you are right, 50%
Yeah.
times in every time frame.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, sir, at the end of the day, again, when the time we enter, okay, the time we take the trade, or when are we going to enter into that trade, that is the most important part. If we can, consolidate that and get to a point where our accuracy increases. And this is a slow process. I am not saying that, it is going to happen in a day or in a month or in, 6 months. It will take a year or maybe 2 years. But then once you find that correlation, or once you find that sweet spot, that's when we start making a change. That's when we start feeling that, yes, now it's going to click. So that's why the setup I am presenting is the reason that, these are the sweet spots that I look for. This is the point I look for, and this is the highest probability that I get when I take a trade. And it can be any time frame. That depends upon our...
In this particular example, let's say that big green candle you might have taken. In this example...
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might have taken the entry in this big candle, or you wait for that candle to complete as a green.
See, once this, now in this place, psychology comes. Why? Because the previous day, what happened? 3 times it came to VWAP and it went down.
Okay.
Right? So, yeah, before day. So I am analyzing that, yesterday, what was happening? It was rejecting VWAP again and again. So today what I'll do is, I'll wait for a confirmation. Wait for at least one candle to close above VWAP. So once this is closed, and now the second candle I'm waiting for it to close above VWAP. Once it's closed above VWAP, then I enter the trade. So when we are learning about markets, we have to analyze everything, You have to go to the previous day, see what price is doing. We already talked about sell and rise. So when, from let's say 36,400, market is going down and down and down, and we are at 32,200.
That's what market understanding
Yes.
helps in play. So along this setup helps if you have already existing market understanding.
Yeah.
So till the time we develop 1 year or 2 year,
Yes.
we might be hitting the 20 stop loss
Yes.
again and again. For example, here as an amateur, I would have taken in that red candle only because
Right.
it closed above the VWAP.
Above the VWAP, yeah.
Obviously, as they told, I would have got the
Yeah,
stop
20
loss.
points, definitely it would have gone. But then, see, that's why we said that, this is not a magic wand. We have to go through different phases. I mean, I don't think anybody is a newbie, because if you're coming to a carnival and, you obviously must have traded a lot, or, at least spent 3 to 6 months in the market, right? Then we have come to Traders Carnival to understand people who have been successful, what they're doing. So my only suggestion to everybody is that understand the market structure.
Vijay, one clarification.
Yeah.
Yesterday you were trading in ATM options.
Yeah.
So that means 20 points mean 40-point move in index.
Yeah.
So Bank Nifty. So actually it's 40 points cover we have got, not 20 points.
Sorry?
So 40-point cover we have got on the downside, not 20 points, because ATM call will move only 20 points when index move 40 points.
Right.
So we have got
in
risk
future,
40 points.
In future, you have to multiply it by 2. Yeah.
So actually we have got cover for 40 points, not 20 points.
Yeah, I'm talking about options 20 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about, when he mentioned that 20 points is when he mentioned about 20 points is a regular movement.
Now I got it. Okay. Yeah, this is today. This one? We'll take here only. I mean, when this closes up, when this closes above the VWAP, we'll take a trade here. It depends. I mean, yeah. See, in this case, it's a gap up. So
I'll take it, Vijay.
Yeah.
So what I think is we'll have to accept that there will be bad trades as well, right? Even that was a good entry according to my strategy. I only go away price action. So that is a clear crossing day's high, and all of the global markets did well yesterday, and today was supposed to be good. Given that, and even Nifty was doing good, so looking at that, that was a crossing days high, I wouldn't be looking at the VWAP when the days high was being crossed. I don't buy. Normally I don't do that. But this setup says that yes, Bank Nifty can go up from there. And even according to his setup, it is kind of a buy opportunity. And it did go wrong. And we have to accept that it can go wrong at times. He's not saying something, I'm not saying, no one can say that something's going to happen every single time you can take trades and it will go right always, right? We'll have to accept that there will be false breakouts and breakdowns and we will have losing trades, right?
Thanks, Eric. Same. See, that is because I am scalping. If you're a different time frame trader, then you adjust your risk as per that. Or if you want, you can trade futures also. Futures also, you're going to get good rewards in this. Any questions?
So right now at the moment, let's say here, as you suggested, that it has MACD tried to cross, but it didn't cross the zero. MACD.
This one, yeah.
And
so that's why we wait. That's why we wait, because price, though it's here, but then it's above the moving averages. So we'll have to wait. Let it go below zero, okay? Let the confirmation come, because if you see, these are small candles, very small candles. So it's not a tradable idea.
Okay. So you wait for
so
the
as I
price
said,
to go.
you know, from the starting, we have to understand the context. What is market trying to do? Whatever it is trying to do, is it doing a good job? That's what Dean taught us yesterday, right? If it wants to go down, is it going really down? No, right? It's just consolidating between a range. There is no momentum. Look at MACD. Look at stochastic. No momentum. As a buyer, I cannot trade this. So I will wait for a good momentum setup.
There was one setup, one example where you have seen that, you have shown that MACD was flat, but still price was going up.
Yeah, that was a trend day.
So when that happens, even now, we will pitch in, is it? Price with the
And that happens, it was above moving average. It was continuously above VWAP.
Okay.
It was continuously above VWAP. I'll show you that setup. Yeah, this was the example.
Yes, here let's say throughout the day, not significant crossovers in MACD, right?
But then if you see these moving averages, they have expanded a lot. Okay. So that is also telling you that the trend is up, and you have to be bullish.
Okay. So moving averages and price action is the first one. Then
yes.
For
And
the
then
confirmation
momentum
will
is
come,
different. For scalping or for your entry, the momentum is necessary. So you use momentum indicators for that, and then price action where you see that the price is not coming below moving average, and the moving averages have already expanded. That tells you that there's huge momentum, and the price is just not going down. If you see, it's taking higher and higher. Not a single red candle, or it's not making a lower low. Yeah. Sorry?
If I set up the thing, then I start the trading and I should observe that firstly, then I should start.
You should first observe and then start trading.
Suggest me a time frame, how much time I should observe, 1 month, 2 months, then I start trading. Yeah, when I get familiar to this, then I.
For a month at least you should watch. Then, as I said, you have to understand what kind of a player you want to be. Okay. You want to hold on to your position for maybe 2 hours or 3 hours, or you want to be a scalper, or you want to, what time frame you want to work on. If you want to work on 5 minutes, if you want to work on 15 minutes, or you want to work on 1 hour.
On a live market, we should firstly observe, then do the trade.
Yes, first observe and then trade.
For the setup.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. You can apply to any stocks or index. But then there has to be liquidity in that stock. Because many cash stocks, if you see, there's no liquidity. So then it doesn't help. If you have any more questions, or we.
Can you talk a bit about it's me? Yeah, the psychology of scalper. Like, I think that's the major game here, right? As you said, the setup can be used even for long term, which is great, which I can probably think about for my long term positions, and when I can plan an entry, all of those things. That's great. But when it comes to intraday trading or scalping, which it's absolutely difficult. Probably the most difficult thing in the market is what I believe. So having a setup is one thing, and then having the skill of scalping or intraday trading is different, right? So if this is a session about scalping or intraday trading or consistent income by day trading, I think it should be about two things, right? About having a setup and also the psychology or the skill of trading, skill of scalping. So if you can talk a bit about that. Yes, I know it's highly subjective. It has to be developed with time. So I don't know, maybe from the top of the mind, how do you go about it? What do you think? How do you control your emotions? Because that is the game, right?
So, scalping is something where, after trading, you have to develop a thick skin. You have to be emotional less. You cannot have an emotion with your position if you are a scalper. Because a scalper, what he does is, he gets into huge quantity and gets out with few points in a matter of seconds or minutes. So you have to develop that psychology that, whenever I'm trading, I'm looking at the screen and I'm looking at the option pricing, always, once the trade is happening. If I see 20 points on my screen that I'm losing, I will exit the trade no matter what. Yeah. Because when I've entered, if it comes below 20 points, I am just going to exit. I am not going to think anything. There is no emotion in my mind that, no, let's wait, let's see, it can go up, it will go up, Arey, to abhi VWAP ke idhar hai, so, no. Discipline is discipline. If we stick, 20 points of premium. If we stick to that discipline, then only we'll develop that skill or the mindset to trade that setup or trade to be a scalper.
No, to a lot of upcoming budding day traders here, I mean, what do you think is the process they should follow? Like, how can they develop that? starting with some capital, then maybe trading at.
I would say scalping is something that comes from your nature.
Right.
Yeah. If your nature is to be aggressive or to be quick and fast, then you get into scalping. But if you have a nature that nahi, theek hai, rukte hai, shant dekhte hai, then you choose a different time frame. You choose a different setup. So we have to understand. I understood my characteristic that this is what I want to do, and this is I am comfortable with. So I'll do that. No problems. What I wanted to know, or what I wanted to learn, I decided that these are the things that I need, and these are the points, or this is my stop loss, or this is my set criteria that I'm looking for. Once I've decided that, I just have to stick to it and make my precision better, make my setup better, and make my entry exits better. So I kept on working on that. I lost money, no problem. Everybody loses. But the learning is more important. How you learn. Whenever, every day, if I was taking 50 trades, I was analyzing every trade. कि यहाँ पे अगर trade लेता तो क्या हुआ? Why did I take a trade? And what was the outcome? I was grading myself. When I did a trading journal, first was every trade I was putting a gap, and then besides that trade, I marked myself that was it a good trade? Was it a good trade as per my setup? It was. Was there momentum available or not? There was yes, then yes. Then I rate myself. I say that yes, this was a good trade. Then below that I will write how many points did I get from that trade. Okay. I put in, let's say I got 20 points or 30 points. Then next trade I saw it's a wrong trade. Why was it wrong? What was the mistake? Was there momentum, or was there the price action supporting it? If not, then why did I take the trade? Then I grade again that how many points I lost on that trade and why I lost that trade. So once you start that process, after 6 months, then you start seeing very good results. Because when you've learned, when you have done your homework and when you have analyzed every trade that you took, that's when you look at your setup in a different way. Because when you're trading, we may lose your subconscious mind, and you just the FOMO kicks in, and we feel that nahi le lete trade, dekhte kya hoga. But then once the market is closed, once you look at the charts, then you understand that boss, this was wrong. Next time if you see that, don't do that. Obviously next time also you make a mistake, but then that's how you learn. You'll make a mistake 1 time, 2 times, 5 times, 10 times, but then you will improve. Why? Because you're analyzing every trade. And that's how my trades from 50, it came down to 10. And then the entry also became very well. So once I, let's say on that trading day, if I rate myself and if I see that, the win ratio was 50%, the losing ratio was 50%. But then how many points did I get? From the winning trade and from the losing trades. How many points I got? If I got more points, well and good. If I got less points, then why? Why did I get less points? Yeah.
So, one important question, because as in scalper, we always understand that you are quick in, quick out.
Yeah.
And you have your stop loss and you have your targets.
Yeah.
Do you trail, say, assuming you all of a sudden went into a trade which worked out beautifully in your favor? And ideally, most of the time you will say, hold on, let me see what's more juice in it. So do you trail your stop losses, book partial profits?
I'll book partial profits. What I do is, if I'm taking 2,500, then after, let's say 30, 40 points, I will exit 1,500 and I'll just keep 1,000 at cost, maximum at cost.
So you will trail it if there is an opportunity available?
Yeah, definitely.
Not like, system like, bought, sold, bought,
No,
sold.
no, not that. Because see, if we do that and exit all of that, then again FOMO kicks in. That man, I left that trade and now it's going up, and where do I find the entry? So as a scalper, what I found out is that once there is momentum, Now to your question, Vishal. Now after this candle has ended, right? I took a trade, let's say this candle started, I took the trade. I trailed, let's say 1000 quantity, okay? Now if I'm seeing that, if this candle is a full body candle, okay? 1 minute before that candle, the next candle is going to start, I will enter more quantity. The quantity that I had, taken out, I will add 1500 more. Then once the candle opens, I will wait for a minute. Then I'll exit again the 1500 that I had taken, I'll exit them again. And then I'll keep the 1000. Now my stop loss is the candle low. So I'll keep doing that. So being a scalper, it doesn't mean that 40 points aa gaye, sab nikalo aur baith jao. No, because there can be follow up, and there can be a very good trend day. So keep some quantity, and that's, if I have started as a scalper, it's not that I'm going to be a scalper for a lifetime. No, I want to be a positional trader. I want to take 1000 points, 2000 points. But then this is the learning. Now I understand my setup. Now I understand that I can be an investor also, I can be a swing trader also, I can be a positional trader also. Now that I have that understanding, then once I've made good profits, I will deploy some quantity in a 15-minute chart. I will deploy some quantity on a one hour time frame chart. I will deploy some quantity on a daily chart. That's how my learning is going to increase. That's why I showed on every time frame, so that if you are comfortable with whatever time frame, you wait for that setup and then trade as per your risk. Any more questions? Yeah. Wait.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for the lecture actually. And I was just thinking, what was your rationale behind the parameters you took for MACD or stochastics?
So I try to tweak the setup again and again, because as a scalper, I wanted to be the first to get in and get out, right? So first I used the normal MACD and stochastic, but then as a scalper it was not working. It was not giving me the right entry and exit. So I tweaked, I tried to change the settings and see. And then after maybe 6 months, I arrived at this, that this is what is working well as per my strategy or what I am looking for.
And one more thing.
Yeah.
In your setup, you will be looking for MACD line to cross 0.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
In your setup, according to you, is there any thing to look for when MACD is crossing the signal line?
No, I just look at this one. Once it crosses above 0, then I take a trade.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much, guys, for giving me this opportunity to present whatever I could. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vijay. Thanks for this, and thanks for yesterday's Virender Sehwag's performance, and thanks for the sponsorship, and thanks for spending time with us.